Hey everyone, and welcome to the 10K in 30-day live weekly webinar. I am your host, Vanessa Simpkins from TakeYourPowerBackNow.com. And you're in the right place if you're a coach, consultant, healer, expert, leader, or you're a wannabe coach, consultant, healer, leader, expert, an online entrepreneur. And if you're somebody who wants to create a consistent six-figure or more income with your coaching or consulting business, you're in the right place. This week, we have an amazing lineup of content, of inspiration, of actionable steps for you to take your business to the next level, as usual. And I'm really excited that you're joining us here today. Today's topic is all about how to stop playing small, right? How to stand up, stand out, be seen as an expert, and get paid like one. So I know you're gonna love today's training. And we have a few people joining us here. Welcome, welcome. As always, before we jump into the training, I wanna make sure that all this amazing, fantastic technology works. And I also wanna know who's joining us. So go ahead and type your name in the chat box and where you're calling from, and that will let me know that you can all hear me. So if you're new to my work, I am the best-selling author of these two books, From Bankrupt to Making $900 a Day Selling Mops. Hey, Candace, welcome. I am going to stick around to the end. I'm going to give you guys a copy of this book, which comes with over $500 worth of bonuses, how to overcome your fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of success. You're going to love this book. My second book, Take Your Power Back Now, The Ultimate Confidence Guide for Women. You're going to love this book as well. So stick around. I do have juicy, yummy gifts. I give a lot of these away during the webinars just because I like to. And who doesn't like to read awesome books that are life-changing? So stick around, and I'll give you access to a copy of this. Two lucky winners will grab these today. Welcome, Catherine and Christine. We got people from the States, from Canada. I'm always amazed to see where everyone is, around the world, from the Philippines, from Germany, from Vegas. Welcome, Senator from Las Vegas. I was wearing my bikini yesterday, actually, from Las Vegas. So let us jump in and get started right away. You can all hear me, which is awesome. Quick little housekeeping rules. I'm here for you guys for the next hour. And I'm encouraging you to really show up. You've got the screen open, you're obviously here live, or maybe you're here watching the replay, but show up, turn off all of the other equipment, and participate. You're gonna get the most out of this training if you show up, 100%. So ask me questions. I'm gonna be checking here in the chat box. Welcome, Galit from Montreal, Galit and Candace from Montreal. That's some Montreal people in the house. Wow, wow, wow. I'm originally from Montreal. Okay, so let us dive into today's training. I think you're gonna love it. I know you are. How do I know? Because just came back from a weekend mastermind where I host my private clients here twice a year in Laguna Beach, California, and we talked all about this. So I've got some great content for you guys lined up. All right, so let us get started. A bunch of people here joining us. I haven't mentioned yet, everyone, but welcome, welcome to those of you who are here. Let me make sure that I'm actually presenting my screen. Present to everyone. There you go. Okay. So this is the 10K in 30-day live weekly webinar where we really talk about creating your lifestyle and your business. The two are intertwined by default, by design and not by default, right? So by design, what are you creating here? And we really talk about money, mindset, and marketing strategies for spiritual entrepreneurs who want more confidence, cash flow, and freedom. That's what this training is all about. Again, I talked about my book. Stick around. Seth Godin says there are some very big ideas here for anyone who's ever sabotaged themselves on a sales call, which I think is all of us. You'll love that book. Promise we're going to have a lot of fun, and you'll come away with breakthroughs. Fabulous systems for generating more revenue in your business, guaranteed. And specifically, we talk a lot about travel and lifestyle because that's why I created my business. We talk about heart-centered sales strategies. If you're a women's empowerment leader and you're trying to figure out how do you put your wisdom into a business that generates revenue, you will love the training. On this webinar, on the series, we really talk about proven sales attraction systems to help you attract high-paying clients in the next 30 days, how to get massive visibilities to your offers if you're new to business, or even if you're a seasoned business owner, if you're ready for a level up, this is for you. How to break through your visibility blocks, fear and doubt and uncertainty, or overwhelm about what to do first, and how to get ultra clear about your message and create content that's highly engaging and positions you as an expert that people want to buy from. So today's webinar, we're specifically covering the high octane gasoline that you need to embody to create your dreams into reality. 3 habits of highly successful entrepreneurs, how not to let other people, fear, or self-sabotage derail you from taking the necessary action towards your goals and dreams, and tips and tricks for how to stop playing small, stand up, stand out, and own it. Really get paid like an expert, and many more insights. I'll also share with you a recent case study of a client who generated some more than 10K in her first 30 days. So if you're new to my work, this is what I look like. My name is Vanessa Simpkins. You all see me here. I'm an international best-selling author. I've been featured on some cool television stations, Fox, ABC, CBS morning news shows. A speaker, coach, trainer, mentor. I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs right around the world really skyrocket their confidence and cash flow. Been featured in a few magazines, spoken on a TED stage, hosted some workshops all around the world, mostly in sunny, hot places. And I've made my first figures really showing really by using these simple systems that I'm going to show you. All right, so I have an amazing career. I have an amazing career, inspiring, empowering, mainly women's empowerment leaders, a few cool guys as well, but basically teaching people how to turn their experience into consistent cash flow. How do you have a profitable business, not a hobby, but how do you turn that big calling into money? This is what I do. I focus primarily on mindset, helping you break through fear, and also systems for high ticket sales in your business. How do you create that consistent cash flow? I'm really, really passionate about helping women specifically take their power back. What does that mean? Well, take your power back from fear, from self-doubt, from all of the stories that you create. Basically, I'm known as the bikini business coach. I did take my online business once I got it up and running and moved to the paradise island of Kauai, Hawaii, where I surfed and played and swam and snorkeled and just had a blast. I was able to run my coaching business from Hawaii, which is a dream of mine. And that's why I love coaching, because it's a portable, profitable business. If you run it the right way, that you can take it with you anywhere, or run, from the comfort of your home or your backyard or your pool around your kids. I love running fun masterminds. This weekend here in Laguna Beach, I hosted the Soul Sister Mastermind. We did some phenomenal connecting and answering questions about how to build your business and how to break through all these, how to break through all the fear and all the visibility blocks and what to do next. And of course, we have lots of fun because, it can't be all work. So I love gathering people in community. I think there's so much power that happens from this is a retreat that I ran in Hawaii. So much power that comes from connection. And I love being outside in nature. I can put on a pair of heels and rock a room or a mop. It's a picture of me flying around on a mop stage, on a TED stage with my mop. But I also love to, to roll up my sleeves and put on a pair of hiking shoes and get out there and take people on some really just epic adventures, right into their soul. What's your soul calling you to do? So this is another Soul Sister Mastermind here. I love beautiful places. I love the ocean. I love speaking. This is my family, my boyfriend Alex and his 3 beautiful children. So I'm the bomb stepmom. And this is where I love to travel. This is one of my most favorite places in the world. It's a magical vortex called Kalalau, which is on the north shore of Kauai. And I ran my business. I was able to leave it for a week every single month and go hiking and turn into Avatar and run around naked and eat mangoes and papayas and have amazing spiritual lessons in the jungle. And that's really why I think entrepreneurship is an amazing trip. You can create it. You can create your life what you want it to be, right? You don't have a boss who tells you to punch a card. You really get to create your life your way. So super empowering. And that's what I love to share with you. I'm a big believer in authenticity as a new currency in business. That's why people do business with you. We're going to talk a lot about that today and how to transform your story into cash flow and why you need to. So, it sounds really great that, wow, Vanessa, you have such a great life. Of course, look at you. You're gorgeous. You're tall. You're beautiful. Who the heck wouldn't want to do business with you? Well, I'll tell you, there was a time in my life, and I'm going to tell you the story. I'm going to stop screen sharing so you guys can see my little face. But there was a time in my life when I was very much confused and overwhelmed and working for this company selling mops. So many people ask me, did you really sell mops? And the answer is yes, I sold mops like the ShamWow guy on TV, but I was live with a little stage in stores like Sears and Canadian Tire. And I would do these direct sales pitches every day, a few times a day, and I would fail miserably, and oh my gosh, then I would make it. I hit it big, and I figured out the recipe, and I started having $1,000 days. And that was an amazing kind of practice ground to be an entrepreneur, being paid on commission only. And then I got kind of stuck in that and really struggled to get my coaching business off the ground. And I remember taping up my old minivan. I had this rusty minivan that I would travel across Canada and sell mops with. And I was spending $1,500 on a mentor. And I thought to myself, if your family ever sees you, Vanessa, taping up this old minivan with rust, spray painting it, instead of buying a new car, you're spending more on your rent than you are, you're spending more on this mentor than you are on your rent. Your family and friends are gonna think you're crazy. And thank God that woman, taught me about online marketing, making offers, and my business took off. Went from a $600 kind of hobby coaching business to over $15,000 a month. I never looked back, and now I teach other women's empowerment leader, other women, spiritual women, how to run successful and effective online businesses using coaching consulting. So now you know a little bit more about me. I have been where you're at if you're overwhelmed or confused. I know how hard it is to break through that. I know I'm supposed to do something big, but what do I do first, right? And the fear of really just breaking out there. So we're going to cover that specifically today. Again, if you're just joining us, we've got some more people here. I'm going to invite you to ask questions. I'm here to support you and answer that. So, all right, jumping back here into the training. Welcome everyone who's just joining us. We're talking today about how to stop playing small, right? What happens when you have this big calling? What do you do? Well, I want to also let you know that I have been around the block. This is not my first pony ride. I've had the privilege of mentoring with some of those amazing leaders in the world, like the late Wayne Dyer and Jack Canfield. And I also want to ask you guys a question here before we jump in. I always like to tailor the trainings to you, to fit you and your life, particularly where you're at with your business, because I know many people here are at different stages. So I want to know, let me know, type in the chat box if you struggle with any of these. 5 reasons entrepreneurs continue struggling making money. So type in the chat box if one or all of these or any of these, apply to you. Number 1, you don't have an identity or know what your expertise is. Number 2, you don't know what you're selling. Number 3, don't have an influential offer or it's not enticing enough. Number 4, don't talk to enough people, don't make offers. That's kind of a marketing thing. And number 5, don't ask for the cash. That's more like a sales thing, sales and mindset thing. So let me know if you struggle with any of those. Just go ahead and type it in the chat box. Sandra says 4 and 5. Okay, so the marketing, the sales piece. All right, so I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna, really tailor this to help you guys as much as I possibly can. So we're talking about how to stop playing small, right? Stand up, stand out, and own it so you can get paid like an expert. All right, so most people, I really want to invite you to stop allowing fear and your emotions to run your life, because this, after doing this now for 8 years successfully, this is the only thing I've done the last 8 years is help women make money. I wouldn't be around if I wasn't good at what I did. I wouldn't last 8 years in my business. So obviously what I've been doing with women is working because I'm still here. Okay, and I'll tell you the number 1 problem that entrepreneurs have, especially women, is that they allow their fear and their emotions to run their lives, to run their actions. All right, so the high octane gasoline to turn your dreams into reality. What do you guys think it is? I bet you it's something that you're not even going to guess. I just want to find out, what do you think it is? What's the high octane gasoline that you need in order to turn your dreams, your business dreams and goals into reality? Go ahead and type it in the chat box. I'm so curious. I want to find out what you guys are thinking. And I'm going to tell you, it's being vulnerable. Being vulnerable with your teaching. This weekend was just exceptional for me to see that, this fear of being visible, this fear of being real with people about the experiences that you have had in your life is what's preventing you from reaching your goals. I'm serious about this, and we're gonna really dig into it. What does that mean, being vulnerable? So you guys have some good guesses. Mindset, fearlessness, yeah, a little bit. It's about fearlessness, but specifically about being vulnerable. Well, what do you mean? So my questions for you, if you're not attracting the right kind of clients or enough clients, there's only 2 things that could be stopping you. Number 1, you're not being visible enough, or you're not being visible with the right story. So what stories are you willing to tell people? Only the happy ones or the real and raw ones? So there's a quote, it says, "We live in a world where image seems more valued than truth. Struggle seems more like failure and vulnerability more like weakness." I'll tell you something. Your clients need to see, they must see that you're an expert before they will spend any money with you. They must see that you have been to the bottom and the depths of despair and hit and crashed and came back up and overcame it. You know, whatever it is, whether you're, you know, a sleep whisperer that helps moms with babies, or you're a yoga teacher, or you're a coach, or you're a weight loss coach, or you're a mindset coach, or a business coach, they have to have seen that you struggled at some point and overcame, you know, very specific incidences before they will believe that you can help them with yours. You can't only be Superman. They've got to see that you've struggled. They have to. Your story is a very big part of this. A very, very big part of this ordeal. So what's an expert? A lot of people tell me, well, you know, I don't know if I'm good enough, or I'm ready enough, or, you know, if I know enough, or I should take another course. All garbage. So think about it this way. If you had a problem, would you rather, you know, hire some fancy schmancy guy who just came back from, you know, has a degree, but who's never used, you know, is just graduated? Or would you rather hire somebody who's been in the field, you know, maybe he's a doctor in Iraq or something, sewing people up for the last 10 or 20 years? You know, which would you rather hire? With the experience, obviously. So you need to use your experience. You must let your experience pave the road to your success. And the only way to do that is to share it. Guys, you got to share your stories, and especially the ugly ones. I sat on a story for 5 years and I never wanted to share. I got that story, the second one there, turned into a best-selling book. It took me right around the world, you know, on all these TV shows. It was the most, you know, it was a story I never wanted to share. I'll let you guys read all about it in my book. But, you know, vulnerability is the bridge to build connection. It's the bridge to build connection. Write that down with your audience. So if you're not having the kind of engagement or connection you want, it's because you need to be more vulnerable. All right. For example, this first book here, From Bankrupt to $900 a Day Selling Mops, you know, you're going to ask me, how do you craft, you know, that story? Well, you kind of want to use, I don't know if you guys have ever read Joseph Campbell, Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey. It's a very famous book, and he talks about the road of every warrior, where you go out looking, you have a problem, you go out looking for a solution, you crash and burn, you figure it out, you get back up, you come back to your tribe, you know, with this new wisdom and knowledge, and you start helping other people and they get success as well. That's the story in a nutshell. And so my first book, I decided I was just going to share it. Here's all the shit. I went bankrupt and how I picked myself up, redirected my mind, and became a rock star salesperson. And made it, you know, $1,000 a day selling mops. So what's your story? What is your story? What story are you telling people? Because this becomes your brand. This becomes, you know, your clients end up being a simpler version of you. And unless they can relate to where you've been, they're not going to sign up with you. So what's your hero's journey story? Just a few words in the chat box. I'm curious to see, do you know what your hero's journey story is? Are you sharing it with others? What is it? What's it about? Have you figured that out yet? A lot of times, you know, clients have a problem. I'm going to stop the screen share here and chat with you guys a bit. A lot of times clients are, you know, if they're having problems in their business, what I find out is that they're trying to tell, you know, they're trying to tell this nice story over here. Look at me over here, look so good, right? When all the juice and the power is like, right here with this crazy story, right? That's what's gonna bring all the juice. So I wanna find out, you know, what stories are you using in your business? It's really, really powerful. Another great tip I wanna share with you is, what are the stories that you've been sharing often throughout your life? So for example, there's a story I share when I moved to Japan and I got attacked by this pack of wild monkeys the first day, you know, living in Japan. I tell that story all the time. I tell another story about, you know, when I went to, you know, do yoga for 3 hours before breakfast every morning, living in this little, you know, deserted Thailand beach, you know, with this guy that looked like Osama bin Laden, and, you know, had this Satori moment. I tell that story a lot. So what are the top 10 stories that you've been sharing throughout your lifetime? I'm just gonna invite you to take a pen and paper right now and jot them down 1 through 10, just the numbers on a piece of paper, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and jot down a few of these stories, or just a word or two to remind you of that story. And I'm gonna invite you to start sharing them on social media, right? Just take a minute right now. I'm gonna have a glass of water, a little sip while you guys are doing this exercise. And please do it, because it's gonna help you. Tell you, people get engaged with stories. Someone here is sharing that, her stories about finding her passion, how she was failing and everything because she wasn't meant to do it. That's a great story. Yeah. How many people have struggled, have hit a wall because they're not aligning with their truth. Great story. It's going to hit a lot of people. All right. So by now, hopefully you've got a few of these stories, just a few words here to remind you. My invitation, my challenge for you, my visibility challenge, my vulnerable, raw and real challenge is that you begin sharing these stories on social media. What does that mean? On Facebook, a blog post, a video. Begin sharing it. This is what connects you with your audience. Someone else is saying here how I stood up for myself against abusive men and addicted children. Yeah, come on. You don't know how many people struggle with the same things until you start sharing it. I have been blown out of my freaking socks after doing, speaking events where women would come up to me crying with tears in their face. I've gotten emails from women. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm 3/4 of the way through your book. I had to send you a message. Thank you so much for writing this. I'm like, what? I was stunned. I'm still stunned at the feedback that I get from women who are so impacted by my story. Story is so powerful. Someone is saying here, what happens even if you don't have a large following? Yes, even if you don't have a large following, start sharing it, because what's going to happen? People are going to see it. They're going to emotionally connect to it. They're going to love it, and they're going to start following you and sharing you. Yes, even on social media. All right, so I hope you guys are going to take me up on the challenge. Take me up on the challenge, because tell you what, if you do, you're going to get results. That's just the way it is, baby. Baby. All right, so enough Vanessa singing. Let's jump back into the training. So what's your hero's journey? You want to write that out, right? So you vulnerably, this is where I was. This is how hard it was. This is how I failed. This is how I turned myself around. And now this is what I do. And if you want my help, right, send me a private message and let's chat. That's kind of the overview. So here's a result from somebody who decided to be real and vulnerable. First month, I've closed just over 16,000 in sales, and the month isn't even over yet. Here's a woman, Jeannick Lemieux, who decided to take me up on my challenge. She created a video every day. She started making offers. She started being real, raw, and vulnerable with people. And the results were just mind-blowing. Actually, she generated about 20-something thousand, 16,000, and another 6,000, bang, right back to back. $24,000 in 30 days. It's just totally possible. Absolutely, totally possible for you as well. Jessie Payne, 12 new clients in her first 30 days. This is what happens when you get clear, when you get vulnerable, when you start being visible consistently, delivering value and making offers. And you want to write that down as well. It's a 3-little-part recipe for generating income. It's really simple. Be visible, deliver value, make offers. That's it. All right. In my 10K and 30-day program, I show people exactly how to do that. I have a system that's been just rocking it, for 8 years, and I teach women's empowerment leaders exactly what to do. So if you would like to get results like these women, I'm going to give you the opportunity to connect with me now versus waiting, an entire hour here watching the webinar. I have an amazing program. It's called the 10K and 30-day program, where I teach entrepreneurs about how to break through the visibility blocks, how to get out there, how to attract clients, how to use their personal story, how to create consistent sales, how to overcome sales objections and all the icky stuff that comes, from charging what you're worth. So go to takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. and you can apply there. We will talk. It is a free call, and we'll see if you're ready. You know, I tell the universe, send me people who are ready to rock their business, and that's who I get. And sure enough, they rock their businesses. I get to work with some amazing, amazing entrepreneurs. So if that sounds like you and you're really ready to take yourself to the next level, go and apply here. Here's a few more testimonials. Denise, actually, she listened to one. It's so fun when my graduates, they come back to continue watching the webinar. That's how you know that the content here is stellar. If people keep coming back, this is, of course, you can watch her video on my testimonials page on my website. But Denise hit $30,000 a month. Kala tripled her income in just 28 days. All possible, you guys. Again, if you want to get results like this, if you're tired of banging your head against the wall, wondering what the heck you're doing wrong, sign up to chat with me. It's a free talk. Obviously, don't have a ton of time. I've got 3 stepkids, a booming business. But I do have time for serious people who are committed and who are ready to take their business to the next level. TakeYourPowerBackNow.com/10K ready. All right. I want to get back to the training. Here's Lisa Cattell, just signed a deal for 37,000 pounds. It's like $50,000. You know, it just takes 1 or 2 sales. If you got high ticket sales in your business, you need to have them. If you don't have them yet, you should. And if you're confused about how to do that, again, apply and we can talk about it. So Lisa turned around. She was just, you know, feeling really stuck and unmotivated about her business. And it was a huge decision for her to invest. It's really hard to invest in yourself. But tell you what, but it really turns your whole life in business around. And in her first 30 days, she did a $50,000 deal. So visibility, we're talking about visibility. We're talking about breaking through our visibility blocks. We're talking about how to stop playing small. So if you want to just take one note on one page, I always include this, you know, because just one idea that you get from this training, just one implemented, can dramatically transform your entire world. Not just your business, your entire world. Visibility in business means everything. It's not about how great you are. It's about how visible you are. So write that down. A whole new page, one idea. Visibility means everything. So here's my very simple recipe. Again, I'm gonna put it down here for you guys. Be visible, deliver value, and make offers. That is your recipe for income. It's simple. Be visible, deliver value, and make offers. That is the equivalent of your income. It's not more complicated than that. Now, what I see people doing is, I'm visible, here I am, but they never make any offers. They never tell people, hey, if you want my help, or hey, you know, I've got this cool program. They just keep being visible, or they keep delivering value. Here you go. Here's all my cool stuff, cool free stuff, but there's never any offers. Right? So you got to have these 3 things in line. And the good thing is only 3. So let's talk about the 3 habits of highly successful entrepreneurs. Now, your ego, of course, is going to tell you, well, it's not safe to be visible. You can't charge that much, or you're not good enough, you're not ready enough, or who's going to pay you, who's going to hire you for those fees, or, you know, it's not safe for you to take the risk and, you know, leave your job and start your coaching business or make that video, or blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is the ego. You need to distinguish between, you know, a real fear and a total freaking imagined fear. You know, there's no lion chasing you down, you know, eating you in the backyard like way back when, you know, in the caveman times. Your ego is still trying to, you know, sting you with this fear that you're going to die if you are visible, which is ridiculous. So 3 of the biggest habits of highly successful entrepreneurs. Again, I've been doing this now for 8 years. I can tell you what it takes. I can tell you right away who's meant to succeed and who's going to take a lot longer. Number 1, you know, is commitment. Commitment is what really cements your success, because you're going to have some failure along the way. It's not failure. It's just teaching you what to learn, how to do things, what works, what doesn't work. And you got to be committed. If you're half in, half out, you ain't going to make it. I'm sorry. You are not going to make it. Go and get a job. You need a job. You know, the road to success in any business, not just as a coach, is commitment. You better stick through it. You want to have a good marriage? Well, you better be freaking committed. Can't be cheating around left or right. You want to have good health? Well, you better be committed to your workout routine, right? You better eat right consistently. You got to have commitment. You got to stick through it to the end. It's what transforms a promise into reality, says Abraham Lincoln. Second habit of highly successful entrepreneurs is consistently. They do the right things consistently. How many times have you tried this and you fail, and you go over here and you do something else, you go over here, and you just never win. You start the race, but you never finish it. Or you start all these projects, never finish them. Well, what's that about? Right? Successful entrepreneurs are people who consistently do things, the right actions, right, in the right order, but with consistency. It's not about starting the race, it's do you finish it. And finally, the third habit, I just thought this was so cute. I love animals. If you know me, I've got 2 dogs. I love animals. Anyways, third habit is persistence. Persistence pays off. I got a beautiful card from my boyfriend this weekend, and it said persistence. Congratulations on hosting such an amazing event. And here's your persistence. So those are the 3 keys for successful entrepreneurs. And then you got to believe in yourself. I share this every single week. This is the number 1 holy grail of everything, is your attitude and your mindset. If you don't believe in yourself, ain't gonna go nowhere. It's the key that turns on your engine. If you want to take your car out and start seeing clients and making money, well, you got to be able to turn the damn car on. You got to believe in yourself. When you do, you'll be absolutely unstoppable. So I'm going to check in here quickly before we go forward, see if there's any questions. Anybody have any questions so far? I'm going to take a little sip of water here. Sounds like you guys are good. No questions so far, so I'm going to keep going. How not to let other people, fear, or self-sabotage derail you from taking action towards your goals and dreams. And before I do that, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to ask a question because I'm curious. How many of you guys struggle with sharing your story? And what exactly about it? What exactly about sharing your story or about being visible is hard for you? Tell me right now. I'm really curious because this, during the Soul Sister Mastermind weekend, it came up in conversation several times in various degrees. So what specifically about being visible, about sharing your story is hard or challenging for you? Is it knowing which format? Is it unpicking a story? Is it just that you don't feel it's good enough? I'm really curious. I want to know. And I'm also going to have some water. Wow, this is a good one. Believing anyone wants to hear it, and how will it be helpful to others? Yeah. Now, we just talked about believing in yourself, right? Somebody else here said people's judgment, right? Fear of failure, fear of rejection. If somebody doesn't like it, they're going to think you're stupid. Big one. I get you. I remember when this book right here, I sat on this story for 5 years. Okay, 5 years. I don't want to tell anybody about this story. One time I told it to a lady in the bathroom. I was promoting this book, and I was running around like the mop lady, and then I was at this event, and I told this one lady in the bathroom about this one, and she started bawling, crying, tears down her face. And she said, Vanessa, it's not about the fucking mop. Stop it. You got to tell the story. I sat on it for 5 years. And then this book turned into an international bestseller overnight. I was interviewed on Fox and CBS, and I didn't want to share it. It's scary. I get it. Okay, Catherine says, worrying about having a good enough program. Yep. So that's so the fear is, what if you share the story, and then what if, having a good enough program to put them into? Okay. I don't have fear about being visible, but I wonder if people find what I share valuable enough. Okay. So this is really powerful. So there's from what I see, there's some mindset, there's attitude in here, trust in yourself, believing in yourself, worrying, self-doubt. Yeah, making sure what I share is transformational enough. So isn't this awesome that, I can post a little question out here and there's people, don't you find yourself in some of these answers? Isn't that awesome that you're not alone? That you're not alone. There's other people who are going through the same shit in some different kind of, measure here. All right, so we're talking about owning your value. We're talking about owning it. And I can tell you, don't sit on your story for 5 years like I did. Don't do it. It's ready to come out now. You're good enough as you are, and it just takes that one little act of faith, to follow it. If you inspire one person with your story, will it have been worth it? A lot of people are afraid that if they tell the story, that other people in their life is going to be upset, like their family or their exes or their ex's family or the kids or right? I don't want to share it because everyone else is going to hear about it and they're going to judge me. Well, what about all the people that you're going to inspire and empower? Maybe to get out of that abusive relationship, maybe to make their own money and quit the crazy job that they hate. Or what about all the people that you're robbing the experience of transformation because of worry, doubt, or fear? What about that? What if you put on those glasses? What if that was your perception? What if you made it, who am I robbing by not sharing this? Because that's what it really turns into. So my invitation for you is to, again, challenge you to share it, to do it today, not tomorrow, today. Good enough is good enough. Get it on there. You're going to get the most feedback by action, right? Money loves speed. I'm telling you, it's not about thinking. It's about just do it. Thank you for sharing your struggles here, right? You're sharing it with other people that they're not alone. And hopefully this has been helpful. So how do you actually let go? How do you actually let go and not let other people's, not let other people or fear or self-sabotage derail you from taking action towards your goals and your dreams? We're just talking about this, right? How do you do that? And what's really stopping you? What's really holding you back from having a lifestyle and the revenue? We talked a little bit about this before, right? Kind of these worries and, fear about it not being transformational enough or good enough, or, maybe nobody wants to hear it, or maybe they're going to judge me. This is what's going on. This is what's really stopping you. The inner critic, I call it the resistance, the compare and despair. Oh my gosh, it never ends. This list is never ending. Fear. So here's my 3-part theory. It's not just a theory, it's a way for living. And I'm going to tell it to you because it's so freaking powerful and it's simple. I'm Capricorn. I love powerful things, but I love simple things. I love direct routes. Number 1, you got to decide. You're going to make a decision that you want it more than you're afraid of it. So most people they wait to make a decision. They say, well, when I have the money, or when I'm good enough, or when I've taken enough courses, or when I'm really ready, or when I feel confident, when the kids go back to school, then I will start my business. Right? Then I will invest, or whatever it is. Then I'll buy a house, or then I'll, when blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work that way. This is how life works. I'm teaching you right now. I'm sharing with you the most powerful recipe to get you what you want in life. So write this down. The first step is to make a decision. This is how you wield your power. Every decision you make, or some people call it a choice. This is how you create life. It's a decision. The word in Latin means to kill off all other opportunities. Decide. Again, most people never change because they never make a damn decision. They sit around procrastinating. Oh my gosh, if I make that decision, then what happens if that happens? So no, what if I do this and that might happen? And then, so they never make a decision. Make a decision. Decide that I'm ready. I'm ready for clients. I'm ready to feel like an expert. I'm ready to own it. I'm ready to share my story. I'm ready. The best decision you can make. Number 2, we talked about commitment. You got to jump all in. You got to commit, right? You can't be freaking half pregnant, man. You're either pregnant or you're not. That's it. You're either pregnant or you're not. There's no 2 ways about it. It's commitment. You are all in. You have to. The universe is going to test you. When you're all in, and you have it. And the third is, in that commitment comes the expansion, right? So for example, I always tell the story of, well, you want to become a spiritual being, you want to meet the Dalai Lama. Well, you got to get on the plane. You got to buy the plane ticket. You got to commit, right? Because really, physically, you are not going to sprout wings, all right? You really got to commit to it. Get the plane ticket. Get on the plane. And then and only then does the expansion happen. Then and only then do all of the right people, opportunity, clients. I had this again and again and again. One of my clients, decided to recommit and sign on with me again a second time. This happened with many of my clients. They get such phenomenal results. They want to come back again, do my program again. And as soon as she did that, she got another client, and she hired a cleaning lady. She got another client. Then she went on a trip. She got another client. She goes, every time I stepped out and said, yes, I got another client that came in and paid for that. And that's the kind of trusting that you have to have. You're creating your future with every decision you make or you don't make, because that's also a decision. So decide, commit, expand. You write that in big letters and post it on your mirror somewhere, because it's not about your friends. It's not about whether you're good. It's about your decisions that you're making and committing to in your life. And then and only then will you walk through, and have everything you need to fulfill that. It happens through your decision. And I know it's uncomfortable for people to do that. It's freaking scary, man. But this is where the magic happens. It's outside your comfort zone. Okay. As an entrepreneur, this is really what you're signing up for. You're going to be living in the realm of, following your intuition, of following your gut feeling, following your passion, right? What's the roadmap for that? Oh my gosh. Most people have a job, 9-to-5 job, pays the bills, totally dead inside, sit around drinking beer on the weekends. Nothing wrong with drinking beer on the weekends, okay? But you got nothing else to do. Life is not about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. What are you creating with your life? Are you really honestly showing up for it? I say 90% of success is showing up. And congratulations, everyone, for being here today on this webinar. So my question is, how much time are you spending in survival mode? Meaning you're not creating your life. You're just kind of spinning around, wishing it was Friday. Only if this and that were to happen, maybe when this and that happens, then I will, right? How much time are you actually spending? If you're not thriving, to me, you're just surviving. If you're not moving forward and expanding, you're living your life out of fear. And what's it actually costing you? It's a serious question, not to have the right sales attraction system in your business, not to have the right attitude or mindset in your business, not to have the right systems in your business. What is it actually costing you? And I ask my clients, if your goal is to make $10,000 a month and you're only making $2 or $1 or $500 a month or $5,000 a month, you're actually leaving all of that money on the table every single month. So if you spend another year spinning around, what's it going to cost you? Do the math just quickly in your head. And not just financially, although that number might freaking just freak you right out. But what's it costing you in terms of your peace of mind? I remember when I was working for this, mop job, it drove me crazy. I knew I was meant to do bigger things in life than sell stupid mops. I mean, they were cool mops, but I mean, come on. I'm not going to be a freaking mop lady here for the rest of my life. There's got to be something bigger to all of it. And I would go to work and I would want to shoot myself in the head because I was still floundering around and I got depressed and I was mad. I channeled that, anger and, invested in myself and kept learning until I figured it out. What's it costing you in terms of the kind of family vacations or the kind of parent you could be with your child if you had more time, if you weren't so stressed out or freaked out, right? What's it costing you? I really look at this because this is the kind of thing, this is where decisions are made right here. And you have a choice. You could say, hey, Vanessa, this has been a great webinar. I've loved every minute of it. You got some great ideas. I'm going to try and, do it on my own. And I think, I know you're going to have a few bumps in the road. Or you could take my hand and I could show you the exact same process that I've helped many clients over the last 8 years to really skyrocket their confidence and cash flow. And so what if in the next 30 days, you could generate $10,000 in your business? What would that actually mean for you? And maybe it's not 10,000, maybe it's more, maybe it's less. Maybe some of you are saying, my gosh, if I could generate an extra 2,000 or 3,000, quit my job tomorrow. I mean, that's only 1 or 2 clients, depending on how you do it. Right? Well, how would you like to double or quadruple your income in the next 30, 60 days? How would you like to skyrocket your confidence and your cash flow? Well, here are some of my clients' results. And again, you can read all about these on my website, takeyourpowerbacknow.com. It's Samantha got 3 new high-paying clients in 1 day. Lisa got her first $9,000 day. These are all coaches and healers, holistic healers, psychologists, psychics, fitness instructors, moving from charging, $100 an hour here and there to creating their first high-end programs, filling them consistently with high-paying clients. And this is what I teach people in my 10K in 30-day program, really how to skyrocket your confidence and your cash flow. It's the place for spiritual women to prosper. And we don't just talk about mindset, we talk about serious systems for success. We talk about having the right mindset because it's so important, and the right clarity, because clarity is power. Hosting some formative event, whether it's online and offline, creating an offer, having a sales call, and creating high ticket sales. Now, if you don't need a lot of clients, if your programs are $5,000, you only need 2 every month. It's not like you need 100, So this is the exact same sales attraction system that I used, over the last 8 years to help experts create buzz, visibilities, and offers and attract high-paying clients. Even if you don't have a big list or a fancy pants website, and even if you're not a big guru, most of my clients are people that are leaving their jobs and wanting to make this a full-time income, a consistent income, or they've been a coach for some time and they're just like, I'm tired of investing in all these stupid programs that don't get me results. Then they come and see me and they learn about sales and the mindset that it takes to really generate that. Inside our program, on the back end, there's an amazing membership site. There's even more than I can show you. I should update this slide, but we talk about mindset. We talk about your ideal clients and your message, getting that straight, your visibility strategies, how you're going to generate traffic and leads online and offline, how you're going to package your services, are you going to create membership sites, mastermind programs, VIP days, what are you going to do? You have my sales script, how to handle sales objections. That to me is worth the entire investment itself. How to be an expert, how to position yourself as someone that people want to buy from, how to make sure that your programs are actually engaging and it's not just something you came up with in your brain, but that it's something people want to pay for. That's a huge one. Networking, how do you network? How do you create a website that generates leads and warms them into high-paying clients? Very important. What is your sales attraction system? You need that. You need to know what that is. Until you have that, you're going to flounder. Your confidence is really going to take a hit. It's the most dangerous place you can be in your business without a system, without a proven system with a track record. And we talk about resources. There's all kinds of bonuses, how to 10x your income by hosting online masterminds. There's a webinar mastery program in there. Oh my gosh, there's even the workshop profit secret system in there if you want to be a speaker, how to add an extra 100,000 or more by hosting your own workshops and speaking events. Hands down the best way to really launch your business. Again, we've seen some of these testimonials. Susanna made $20,000 in her first month. I think this still is one of my most favorite stories because her husband invited me to have Thanksgiving dinner with her. He's like, I just want to thank you for, really making our lives amazing. And she was ready to throw in the towel in a business. And I taught her how to make high-end, offers. She just struggled with making offers. And we worked on mindset, and in her first 30 days, she did amazing. The next 30 days, same thing, she did amazing. The next 30 days, she did amazing. So if you want to get results like this, if you've decided, if you've been watching these webinars for a while, and you're like, you know what, I want to be one of those stories. It's my time. I decide I'm ready. Then go ahead and apply to talk with me. Go to takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. I run an amazing program, and when it fills up, people go on a waiting list, sometimes for 9 months at a time. We do have some people graduating, which is awesome. Some people are signing up again, which is great, but there is a spot or 2 open. So go to takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. I'm going to share with you one of my favorite quotes, that education consists not so much of knowledge, but of knowledge effectively and persistently applied. People are not paid merely for what they know, but more particularly for what they do with what they know. This is from Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. So I invite you to look at this today, not as, oh, this is going to be another one of these trainings that I watch and take notes, but do it. Do it, do it, do it. Don't just sit around and be a sponge. It's like enough sponge time is over. It's time to take action. And remember, nothing happens until you make a decision. Nothing happens until you make a decision. This is my sister and I bungee jumping in New Zealand. Oh my gosh, terrifying, but so fun. You got to take risks. I mean, some people even watching the webinar are like, oh my God, I want to talk to Vanessa, but you know, this is scary. And I totally get you. This is, you know, really just going to be about half an hour that we spend on the phone, maybe 40 minutes. It might be the best 30 minutes that you ever spend in your business all year round. It's a free call. And there's no pressure, but I am going to show you exactly what's holding you back, whether it's a mindset thing or a systems thing. You know, we'll open up the hood and take a look at what's going on in your mind and your business. And this is for you if you are a holistic practitioner, a coach, a consultant, a service-based entrepreneur who is ready to create, you know, a more consistent cash flow. You know, we're going to look in and see what's really holding you back from doing that and start steering you in the right direction. Again, you got to follow your intuition and let love guide you. I'm like, I'm so amazed that you guys have found this. I get emails from people who've watched the webinar every week and are like, oh my God, you know, I'm so happy I found you, I met you. You got to continue trusting that. You got to trust that if you've been praying for something and you found this webinar and this resonates for you, that this is an invitation for you, and you got to show up and say yes to it. I mean, you can pray all you want, but you know, when God's Source Spirit brings you the answer and you just look at it, you know, with your thumb up your ass, it's not going to do you any good either. So it does require your action. You got to follow your intuition and then you continue trusting and allowing love to guide you. So again, the application here to connect with me is takeyourpowerbacknow.com/10K ready. All right. So I'm going to see if there's any more questions here in the chat box. And I'm still here drinking water. Somebody's saying here, one thing about my working with my clients that they have to be totally committed and for standing up to themselves. Absolutely. It's really scary and takes a lot of courage. It does, guys. It takes a lot of courage to believe in you, but you got to if you want other people to believe in you and pay for you. All right. And there's some truth right there. Some people just keep making excuses for not leaving an abusive partner, for not ending a friendship that's not supportive. Right. So you've got, you know, excuse makers, or you've got committed people. Guarantee when you charge what you're worth, you're not going to find any more people that make excuses. They're going to really, you know, commit to themselves, or they're going to waste a lot of money. Right. That's just oh my gosh, there's somebody ringing my doorbell. All right, I promised you guys a copy of my book, so I'm gonna type it in here. You got to show up live to get a copy of this book. So I'm not gonna tell you the email address, but I will post it here in the replay. You got to show up live. What can I tell you guys? I love you, I absolutely love you, but you got to show up live if you want to get the goodies. And I'm gonna mail one of these. I'm gonna sign them. I'm gonna mail them out to your door. What question am I going to ask you for this book? What is the high octane gasoline, you know, that you need to embody if you want to turn your dreams into reality? Easy answer. What's the high octane gasoline that you need in order to turn your dreams into reality? Go ahead and type in the chat box and I will give you a copy of this book. And for the second book, for this one, another easy question, easy answer. How many years did I not want to share my story? How many years did I sit on this story before having the balls to come out with it? Candace, you have got this book. She says vulnerability. Yes, that's the answer. The answer is vulnerability. The answer is that's the high octane gasoline you need. So Candace, go ahead, shoot me a Facebook message with or shoot me an email with your address, your name and address, and I will mail that to you. And Christine is saying, they're awesome books. I know, but I already have them. Okay, awesome. And then Diane says 5 years. And yes, Diane got it first. 5 years. You're absolutely right. It took me 5 years of sitting on a story before I told it. And don't wait 5 years, guys. This is again, Diane, shoot me a little message on Facebook or an email with your name and home address, and I'll mail it out to you. And there you go, folks. I hope you have enjoyed this training. I want to know, what's one big aha, what's one big action item, what's one big idea that you, wow, that you know, impacted you, or that you're going to put into practice after today's training. Go ahead and type it in the chat box. I want to hear from you. I want to find out, you know, if this was impactful for you. What was the biggest idea, biggest aha that you received from today's training? And while you guys are coming up with that, I'm right on time, 11:56. I'm getting good at this. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time and showing up. I say this every week, and I really do believe it. I teach this to my clients. 90% of success is showing up when you don't feel like it, when you don't want to, when you feel like a failure, when you feel like a fraud, when you feel like you're not good enough, and you just show up. You trust that inner voice, that inner prompting. You show up to the training, you know, you go to the event, and boom, everything happens. So Gillette is saying, life is about creating myself, not finding myself. Love that. Candace is saying authenticity. Yeah, the new currency in business. People don't want to do business with normal, perfect people. No, they want to do business with real people. Real is trustable. You know, fake and all hair is exactly in place, and no, there's something up there. Don't like that. Authenticity is a new currency in business. Catherine says that people who are committed to change are the ones who will pay my fees. That's right. Actually, if you charge more for your services, you're only going to get people that show up and that take action because they're investing in themselves. That's the ticket. Gillette says, I have tons of habits. I have lots of the other habits of a successful person. Awesome. Dan says, vulnerability and visibility. Ooh, two big V words. I love it. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you again for being here. I love each and every one of you. I want to thank you for your courage and consistency and for showing up. Keep showing up. Have an amazing week. And for everyone else, I will see you on next week's 10K in 30-day live weekly webinar. Mwah. Have an amazing day, everyone. Bye.